Hey guys, it's Randy Kennard with Sour Station Farm. We just want to give you an update where we're at building our own farm store. So over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, as you can see, we haven't really gotten all that much done. The place still looks pretty much the same. We got everything torn down, cleaned up, got all the manure cleaned out of there, power washed it, disinfected it. Actual building has been pretty slow. Been trying to negotiate this whole the code to figure out what we could do. And one thing that was kind of holding up progress is whether or not we actually had to have a toilet sitting inside here. I read through the whole code. I talked to the state, and the state was just ambiguous. And then for a while, they just wouldn't even call me back. So pretty much read through the code, and the code says you need to provide facilities. Okay. So over there to the house, we have a small bathroom downstairs. There's a sink in there. Actually, there's a shower. We just have to hook it up. It's pretty unnecessary in a public bathroom. But we said, well, we'll just use that. And we asked the state. They said, go ask the town. And we asked the town. They said, go ask the state. They said, well, we're just going to use the bathroom downstairs. The state said it's okay. It's in the code. And the town signed off on it. And then the state asked if the town signed off on it. I said, yep. And they said, okay. So everybody's happy. So apparently we can use the bathroom in there, which is great because it means we don't have to dig a hole through here and put in a whole massive septic system. You guys remember, we're going to put a 8-foot addition on here, pressure treated bottom. And we're going to bring our pipes in the middle here, about halfway where this building is. The other side of this wall is where our 3-bay sink and our hand wash station, any plumbing's going to be on this wall. That way we just going through wood, you don't have to mess around with doing any type of holes in the concrete. Because of the bathroom issue, because we don't have to have a toilet, all we have to have is a gray water system, which is way less cost than we can install it ourselves. So pretty much, I'm sorry for waving this all around on you guys, we'll have a trench coming out from the wall here, and it's going to come over by this tree. It'll kick over, and here's our layout for the leach field. Now really it's going to be like two black perforated pipes, almost like culvert pipes cut in half. So they're two domes, and they'll have a pipe coming into it. This has to get scarified. There'll be more gravel brought in, be leveled out, but it's one of the only spots here that we had that we could actually do anything. There's a little bit of gravel, just a tiny bit that was from the pad when they originally built this, when the Souders built this 30 years ago or some odd. Beyond that, as you can see, we'll just take a little walk over here. It'll pick it up. I mean, look at that. It's just got cattails, right? I mean, it's just wet. So one of the problems is having a place to actually drain and not be waterlogged. But there's just enough gravel here. It's just far enough away from the barn. And there's just enough slope. Let me get it in the camera. Just enough slope for all of our wastewater, which is just dirty sink water when we're cleaning dishes, to work right here, which is pretty phenomenal, because if we had to have a toilet, that'd mean we'd have to have probably a 1,000-gallon holding tank and then a much larger leach field, which might not even be practical here. I mean, we could probably go from the barn and we go up to our existing, let's see if this is even in the picture, do two things at once here. Go to our leach field up there, tied into the house's leach field, and run a pump, and then you get the cost of the pump, and it's just length of putting in pipes, and it's just more costly. So thankfully, we got signed off on our plumbing, and that's kind of what we've been working on the last week and a half or so, because I hadn't wanted to start building anything because we weren't sure how we were going to lay this out. Now that I know what we can do plumbing, and the town has signed off on it, and they're super happy, and the state's super happy, or doesn't care. They said it meets code, so that's good enough for me. We can run our septic now. We'll get that all installed here probably, hopefully this week coming up. Get somebody in here to dig us a trench. And we also need to dig a trench from the house. Pretty much the corner of the house, and it's going to come straight through. All these stumps are going to get ripped out. All these stumps are getting ripped out. And it's going to run straight through to the middle here, and that'll be our water line and our electrical line. Now, probably have to check the code to make sure. I've heard varying opinions on it. Pretty sure if I go down 4 feet, and we run our water lines. We come up 3 feet, and just a foot below the ground we can run our electrical lines. They'll probably both have to be in like Schedule 40 pipe, separate and sealed off, electric above the water. But then again, I'm not sure 100%. We might have to offset them a little bit. But either way, we'll get this trench dug out, and we'll get the other trench dug out, and we'll get our septic system put in. And now we have a plans of where we can kind of lay our equipment out in the barn and actually start building and doing stuff. I could have been working on the front of this barn, which has been torn down and could really use some attention. But I've been off the farm quite a bit, chasing bats and working, so I just haven't had the time to come work on this. We've been doing a lot of planning and trying to figure out what we're actually going to be doing. But everything's been signed off on now, so we're kind of good to go to the next phase. We'll get our final plans kind of drawn up, how things are going to be laid out. There's still a whole bunch of unknowns, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully in the next week, maybe this week, maybe the next 2 weeks, hoping to actually start spending days building. A lot of the wildlife work is dying down now that fall's coming, and we'll feel super way behind. But so be it. So we'll get on to it here pretty soon and keep putting stuff up. If you guys have any questions that I haven't addressed as far as the plumbing or anything about the process yet, let me know down below, and I'll try to answer them. Thanks a lot, guys. All right, bye.